I have to start again about Larry David. Typically number 10. Number 10. Larry's education. Since comedy typically isn't a degree that one can get, it's safe to assume that Larry doesn't have a BA in making people laugh. His true degree is still somewhat surprising. The successful comedian is an alum of University of Maryland and College Park. It's a small town that, according to 2010 census, has a population just barely surprising 30,000 people. David's degree is unexpectedly in history. Number 9. Hes George Casey. Seinfeld characters were unlike anything else in TV at the time. They weren't related, they weren't particularly desirable, and they were arguably bad people. The 11 funniest George Costanza quotes. George Costanza's personality is based on Larry David, and the similarities become clear. When comparing George to Larry on Curb Your Enthusiasm, they don't particularly look alike, but they have the same hairstyle. Fortunately, David seems more pleasant to be around than his television counterparts. In real life, he has 2 children. When watching Curb Your Enthusiasm, one thinks to themselves, thank God Larry doesn't have children. It's true, he has no offspring on the HBO series, but in real life, story is different. Larry and his ex-wife Lori Leonard had 2 daughters together in 1994 and 1996. Cassie, the oldest, and the actress, the writer in her own web series 86. She was also in relationship with Saturday Night Live cast member Pete Davidson. He wrote for SNL. Number 8. Before hitting it big with Seinfeld, Larry worked the writer for various television shows. He first got a gig performing skits for Friday, a sketch comedy show on ABC. Afterwards, he landed a job at Saturday Night Live in 1984. The job only lasted for 1 year. Only one of his skits ever aired. The job wasn't all in vain, however, since he did end up meeting Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who would later go on playing Elaine in Seinfeld. Number 7. Cosmo Kramer's origins. Seinfeld characters closely mirror real life. One major reason it's because many of those characters are based on real people, or at least extreme versions of themselves. 10. Seinfeld characters and their real life counterparts. Cosmo Kramer, Jerry's eccentric neighbor, is based on a real neighbor Larry had when he was living in Hell's Kitchen, New York. Kenny Kramer had similar mannerisms, equality, strange ideas, and tendency to raid the fridge. That's what Larry did. Larry David also raided the fridge in Marty Funkhauser's house and made a sandwich for himself. Number 6, he's one of the most successful comedians. Larry's net worth is reported to be around 400 million. At one people said that it was 900 million, so both numbers have been thrown around. That makes him of the most successful comedian of all time. Larry contests his numbers, however, claiming that it has never been anywhere close to this, and half of it went to his ex-wife in the divorce, still with syndications. And Curb Your Enthusiasm, the 71-year-old writer and performer cannot be doing half bad for himself. Number 5. He was in the Army's Reserve. Some may look down on the Army Reserve since it isn't being the forces full-time, but Larry David was part of this in his young adult years and says his experience was no cakewalk. Training was grueling, uncomfortable, and provide too much to handle for someone his fellow training. It's hard to see him as an athlete, but at the same time he does look really good for his age. Number 4. The Seinfeld episode The Revenge is based on him. One popular Seinfeld episode, The Revenge, see George Casey quitting his job only to show up a couple of days acting as if he never left. The bizarre comedian situation seems too outlandish to be true, but it's taken from Larry's real-life experience. Number 4. Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, Season 11 premiere dates and guests revealed. He did the same thing after quitting SNL just 1 year after starting his job. Maybe it was embarrassing for him at the time, but he got a laugh in the end. Number 3. He's related to Bernie Sanders. Larry David has portrayed Senator Bernie Sanders several times during his hosting stints on the SNL. The two bear a striking similarity, and for good reason. They are related. The two eventually appeared together in the late-night programming, making the resemblance all more uncanny. Number 3. Larry David's 10 best quotes. Larry David says, pretty good. Number 2. Susie Green. Susie Green always swears at Larry David. She's always kicking him out her house. He's always giving her an excuse to be kicked out the house. Poor Susie Green. She must be fed up with him by now. And that's all, folks. Number 1. Larry David likes to annoy people and side-sit. There's an episode where he side-sitted with people and he got in trouble for it. And apparently he's kind of annoying when he side-sits with people. He likes someone, he'll side-sit with you. The end.